Welcome to Tax Insights, presented by Hawkins Ash CPAs.
And good morning, listeners. Welcome back to Tax Insight here on WOMT. We're talking with Jeff from Hawkins Ash. Jeff, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Terry.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Excellent. Jeff, we are talking about unclaimed property on today's episode.
Yeah, because I think most people are aware that they can do an online search to see if the state is holding any funds for them. So today, I really want to talk about how they can get those funds from the state.
All right, so for those listeners that do not know, explain this a little bit more.
Sure. So in general, when a business owes a customer money, or a refund, whether that's a cash refund or non-cash refund, and the customer can't be located, the business is actually required to submit those funds to the state. After that, anybody can go on to missingmoney.com or their state website to see if the state is holding any funds for them.
All right, so how does a business know if they need to send those funds to the state?
They should do an annual review of the company's books to see if there's any property that's considered abandoned. Now, there's things like wages, which if you have an employee that you paid wages to and they haven't cashed that check in a year, or a customer that you owe a refund to or a rebate to, or maybe it's just a dormant account. Somebody's got some money on deposit and it's a dormant account that's been there, or uncashed traveler's checks. Generally, those things just can't be kept by the business. They eventually have to be sent to the state. Now, it doesn't include, like if you give a credit to a customer and that credit has to be used for services, those don't count. But the other things we talked about do.
Gotcha. What does a business then actually need to do?
Once the property is identified, the business has to make what's called a good faith effort in order to locate that owner. A notification letter should be sent to the last known address for any amount that's over $50. And once the business sends out that letter, they should keep that letter for 5 years as proof that they tried to send it. Now, if after that the person still can't be located, the funds are sent to the state. And each state has a different procedure on how you send those funds to them. So what I would suggest is just go to your state's website and go to like unclaimed funds or something like that on the website.
Gotcha. Jeff, since we have a little bit more time here in today's show, let's talk a little bit how a person can get the money back.
Sure. So like I mentioned before, you can go to missingmoney.com or go to your state's website. I went on there, I looked up John Smith from Wisconsin, and there's actually over 200 entries for John Smith, and many of them are over $100. So that's how you can go in and find that amount, and then just go ahead and follow that state's procedures on how to get it back. Now, one huge note of caution here is that, just like you can go onto those websites, so can other companies. So there's third-party companies that actually search these sites, and they'll contact people and say, hey, we found money for you. And if they do that, they usually charge a finder's fee. Well, if somebody calls you and says that they have money that they found for you, the first thing I would do is I would go to that missing money website and see if your name's on the list.
Jeff, great information here. I'm definitely going to go check it out for myself to see if I have any money coming back. But Jeff, in the meantime, if listeners want to get a hold of Hawkins Ash, what is the best way of doing that?
I would go right to our website, which is hawkinsash.cpa.
Jeff, thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you next week here in Tax Insight on WOMT.
This has been Tax Insights, presented by Hawkins Ash CPAs. Learn more online at hawkinsashcpas.com. Hawkins Ash CPAs, part of your business, part of your life.